Welcome back to Jay Stoyan's Rock Concert. I'm your host, Mick Flanagan. We are super excited because in the studio today we have fabulous musician Ed Roman. Ed?
Jay!
Thanks for being on the show
today.
Thanks
for having me, man. Pleasure.
What we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of an interview and then you're going to hear Ed rock out because this guy is fantastic. We are listening to some of his songs off camera. He goes from Sergio Mendes to James Taylor to B.B. King, so stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with Ed. He's going to tell us all about his fantastic career. Welcome back to the show. In the studio today we have Ed Roman. Ed, thanks for being on the show
Jay,
today.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Now, I know you have a wealth of experience because we've checked you out online. You're just like all over the place, which is fantastic. So why don't you do this? Why don't you tell our fans and our audience a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into your genre of music.
Well, who am I? I'm Ed Roman, and I'm Canadian, born. Live in the town of Melanchthon, which is in Dufferin County. Love a wide variety of music. Been playing it since I was about 5. Used to stop family fights in the kitchen by singing it into an old lamp. John
Excellent.
Jacob.
I love those. I love those stories.
Yeah, and everybody would stop arguing, and they'd be laughing at me, and then I'd be like, "Oh, what were we arguing about?"
That's
again?
great.
You know. So music has a healing thing for me.
It does.
It's a big part of who I am as well.
Makes everybody smile.
Yes. Yes.
So tell our audience and myself actually your type of genres, and we'll get a little bit about inspirational purposes and everything like that.
Sure, absolutely. I love everything, from classical music to jazz to funk, R&B, pop, soul. I love it all. There's certain kinds of genres that I like, but the subject matter maybe isn't to my liking.
You know what I want to ask you? Because I always ask musicians this. What type of music did you have growing up in the house?
Oh, it was my grandmother.
Okay.
She loved everything from Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Sinatra, and then old like Slavonic music from which is where I'm from. Etta James. Oh no, I remember her actually looking through like magazines. Oh look, Paul McCartney's in the magazine.
Billie Holiday.
Oh yeah, for sure. So she always had music playing in her house. She was the biggest influence to me. So her wide variety of styles that she loved influenced me.
So a lot of jazz.
A lot of jazz, and then Brothers records, early like Deep Purple stuff, and then my sister's into folk artists, like 70s, you know.
Now I know off camera we were talking, and you're also very talented. So tell our viewers what type of musicians you or what type of instruments you play.
Well, I play a whole variety of stuff. Bass is my main thing. I love the bass. I always fell in love with that when I was very young. I play the guitar, drums, banjo, keyboards, a little harmonica.
Self-taught?
All self-taught. Formerly, I went through Humber College, and that's what I studied jazz performance in the bass. So that's my genre.
So you have some education.
I have some education
behind you, which is great.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
Stuff.
Now I know, like our songs. Well, why don't we show this? Why don't you're excited about your new CD?
Yes, that's the plug.
So Ed Roman, it's called?
Yeah, Oracles and Ice Cream. I picked that title actually, Jay, just because oracles to me are the creators.
Okay.
You know, there's a tune on here called Waltz for Tesla. I think you're going to see it maybe in the show. And he's the oracle for me.
Okay.
Everything that we have running in this room is because of alternating current.
Really?
And Nikola Tesla is the one who gave us alternating current. Edison wanted everything to run on DC power.
Now tell us a little bit about Tesla, because I bet you a lot of people don't know who he was.
Well, Nikola Tesla, if you don't know, basically gave us alternating current. Set up the first turbines in Niagara Falls that powered upstate New York. New York was the first city to ever have electric light. Got all of his money from Westinghouse that helped him get his patents and things off the ground. Later on, many of his patents were taken from him as he got older, and he died a poor, sort of lonely man at the age of 79 in the New York hotel. His background is Serbian, and the Serbian background is just full of education as far as how they remember things and regurgitate that information. So he could go into his brain and pull genres, or not genres, but ideas of things and almost see them come to fruition in his mind before he even put it to paper. For me, music is the same thing.
That's a great connection. Like, that's a real good connection the way you make that. Like, it's because that's very unique. A lot of people, I've never really heard a musician speak so highly of Tesla before. Like, that's amazing.
Oh, I think there's a secret like horde of us out there that are all like Tesla fans. You know, I think we could probably put something on Facebook and there'd be 20,000 of us all meeting at Dundas Square because of that sort of underdog thing. For me, that's what it also is too.
So that sounds like he's an inspirational man for you. Now, tell us a little bit other inspirations, music-wise, guys.
Music-wise, Jaco Pastorius definitely. If you don't know anything about Jaco Pastorius, he's one of the first sort of influential bass players that brought melodic bass playing out into the forefront. Weather Report was a band that he played with Joseph Zalano's project. All through the 1970s, you had melodic numbers that were winning Grammys, 5 Grammys for like Birdland, and that was a Jaco head that he wrote. So that's definitely a big influence. In the jazz world, it's too elaborate to even mention. Like everything from Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Jerome Kern, B.B. King in the blues world as well too. Pop world, I mean, everybody from Michael Jackson to Stevie Wonder.
Do you like anybody today? Like, who do you like today?
I like a lot
Kings
of
Leon's, maybe?
Kings of Leon. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Derek Trucks band?
No.
So he was a 26-year-old prodigy. Started playing when he was 16, prodigy with the Allman Brothers band.
Okay.
And he's an incredible slide player. His project I'm just in love with these days, and it's just neat. It's like a hybrid of Indian music mixed with blues and jazz and rock.
Wow.
Interesting time signatures, just really pushing the envelope.
Let me ask you this, because I find I'm not a musician. I don't play, I don't write, I don't sing. I just love music. So I'm strictly a fan. And as a fan, now I might be so old school, I just like, yeah, whatever. But I don't find that there's those same type of quality rock and roll bands that were back in the 60s and 70s. But then again, it might just be me. You know?
I not being old and jaded about it, but at the same time too, there has been a real decline in musicianship and capabilities. We had people in products of Stevie Wonder that came out. The man can play the keyboard, the drums, the guitar, the bass. You don't usually see people doing those kinds of things anymore and getting the recognition for it. A lot of industry people said, we don't want too much musicianship. I've had a lot of conversations with people. Too much soloing, too much jazz, too much ethereal stuff.
All about the bucks.
It's all about the bucks and the 30-second song. That's the quick fix. And that's always kind of been there, but it's never been more prevalent than today. And then the advent of a lot of new sort of modern shows like the singing shows that are on television today, Canadian artists and what have you, that's promoted a different way, the way people listen to music. They expect everything to be kind of quantized and have a perfect standard to it. For me, I like music that has a rough edge to it because it shows the human side. Or a musician that I hear struggling on an instrument shows that they're working for that sound.
Just to add to that, a lot of musicians like that, or say experienced musicians nowadays, they say that they would never have the opportunity to hone their craft because you're in and you're out. Like if you don't have a hit single, your first single out, you're gone. Whereas, is that true? You find that?
Yeah, and that's where diversification is the key. For me, I do many different genres, so I can go and play at a corporate event for somebody. I can do a commercial. I can play at a pop gig. I can go play on a country gig. So diversification, I think, is the key. I'm also a music therapist. I work as a teacher. That's what I think is the key to being and living artistically.
Okay.
And that's what's promoted what I do and why this sounds the way that it is, because I have such a wide pool of ideas and things that I've done.
Speaking of what you're going to do, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back because we were talking off camera about an event that you're planning, developing right now. So let's take a quick break and we'll be back with Ed Roman. Welcome back. In the studio today we have Ed Roman, and I know we were talking off camera, Ed, about a really exciting development project that you have coming up. So maybe we can tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Well, just everything that's happening up in where I'm from in Melanchthon County, it's kind of on the roadmap as far as water rights and water issues. And there's a number of farms that are in the area, one of which is Statlander's farm, and there's 4 other farms that have held out to these aggregate companies. There's a huge festival that's being put on. It's like a international chefs conference. Now, Statlander usually has it every year, but this one in particular is focusing on land rights issues, where our food comes from, how our food is grown, and what we consume. So.
And the music side of things would tie in how?
Well, it's just the part of the entertainment, the people that are the type of musicians that they're having, maybe are on the same roadmap mentally as far as how they're feeling about stuff. So it's interesting to be a part of that.
And does this have a date yet or not quite?
It's not quite set yet. No.
Do you hopefully have it before the fall season?
I will, yeah. I think it's actually sometime probably in the late September, October era.
And if people want to find out more information, can they go to your website?
BlackEarthMusicandPottery.com. And you can also check me on Facebook and Reverb Nation. Just look for Ed Roman.
And if people want to purchase your CD?
All available at iTunes and any downloadable site that you can possibly think of.
That's great, Ed. I really appreciate it. What we're going to do now, we're going to hear a rock out. So stay tuned. We're going to come back, and Ed's going to entertain us all night long. Again, I'm Mick Flanagan for the Jay Stoyan Rock Concert Show.
Thanks, Mick.
Thank you.
There's a brighter day for put my best foot forward, tried the best I could. Now you listen to confessions from my neighborhoods. Well, a holy politic and demographic charts say we got to keep on lying like we've done from the start, but the world keeps mucking around and around. I'm saying please, but the world keeps mucking around and around. I'm saying please. Thank you. So this is my band here, by the way. Just a pedal. My electronic devices. They're my friends. And a band in a box, if you will, I guess. This is a tune called 12-28-13. My clock kept stopping at this number the entire time I was thinking about this tune. Then my dog died December the 28th when she was 13 years old. If you know anything about numerology, that's how it works. This is for her. Trip over my pedal. Trip over my pedal. Thanks, folks. I think I'm going to do another tune. It's from my new record, 22-song EP. And it's a lilting ballad about when love goes wrong. So I'll start it off with a smile. Wipe the sweat. And then say, baby, you might need a knife. Or perhaps crowbar. Try with all your might. Stick on dynamite. But we will never part. And nothing's gonna start. No, nothing's gonna start. Until you let go of my heart. I'd thrown away the shackles and that ball and pen. baby, but nothing's gonna change. We will never part, and nothing's gonna start. No, nothing's gonna start until you let go of my heart. Rumors will trickle and grapevines will wrinkle. A sorry sight turns you stray. A dream in the past with a faith that won't last. Tell me that you're leaving today. Perhaps a torture kit, brass knuckles in my mitts, something flammable to satellite, baby. I'm about to throw a fit, but we will never part. Nothing's gonna start. No, nothing's gonna start until you let go of my heart. Let go until you let go of my heart. Let go, baby, until you let go of my heart. Thank you for choosing Ed. Just gonna switch over to my bass, folks, because I'm also a bass player by trade. That's what I love to do. 4 strings, less is more. I'm gonna start off with a tune that I wrote. I love the underdog. Who loves the underdog? Me. Oh, good, all right. And one of the greatest underdogs of all was Nikola Tesla. The tune I wrote for him is a waltz. The reason I chose a waltz is because it's a very lilting, kind of sorrowful, ballady kind of feel. And he died a poor man, and many of his inventions today we're using right now in this room. Most people think Edison is the one that's responsible for electricity and all those things. No, it was Tesla. Same thing, Marconi? Tesla had that figured out years before Marconi did. Anyway, this is a tune for him. It's got some overdrive in it. Not that much though.
Tesla. This is another little jazz tune I'm going to do too, but it's a little more upbeat. And I wrote it for a friend of mine that passed away a couple, 3 years ago of a bad peanut allergy. And trying to immortalize him in happiness as opposed to sadness. He was a drummer. This is Rhythm Changes. This is a tune called Boehner's Bounce.
Welcome back to Jay Stoyan's Rock Concert. I'm your host, Mick Flanagan. I hope you enjoyed the show today. We had on a fantastic musician, Ed Roman. Check this guy out. He's going to be all over the map. Again, Jay Stoyan's Rock Concert. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
The low rider is a
little higher.